Hello YouTube, just wanted to make a quick video about Battle Cat, how he's the primary steed or mode of transportation for He-Man, and how in the mini comics there was a sort of a classic image or a memorable image of Teela riding side saddle along with He-Man, and that had a big impression on some people. I know that Hebro, who has a big following on YouTube, and I enjoy watching his content, he kind of addressed this situation with the Origins figures. I like that idea as well, and this is how I allow Teela to double along on Battle Cat with He-Man riding side saddle. In the comic, she actually sat here on the back, which is, it's not possible the way this particular Battle Cat is designed, but there is plenty of room here in the shoulder area. So I think this works pretty well. I do like the idea of the comic book explanation of the He-Man legend, even though I know that's not canon anymore with Filmation, with DC taking over a full comic book series, He-Man. It definitely makes more sense. It's more marketable to make him more like a comic book superhero with an alter ego in the form of Prince Adam. It's a lot like Superman and Clark Kent. But I really like this sort of Conan the Barbarian inspired simplistic view of He-Man and Teela with obvious romance between the two, rather than this sort of concealed or subdued flirtation. Here's another thing I want to show while I got the video out. Teela's sword doesn't necessarily fit her hand, at least in my version. Her finger and thumb area on her right hand is kind of soft plastic, so she can hold the weapon for a while, but then the plastic starts to loosen up and give way. I'm not quite ready to use this Teela as a sorceress or green goddess type character. I like the idea of her just as a simplistic warrior, kind of like a Red Sonja figure. I like the idea of Conan. I think it was Conan the Destroyer, maybe it was the Barbarian, where he went around with a band. There was a princess, there was a Wilt Chamberlain, there is another kind of wild woman with a fight with a stick, and this wizard guy. So that's kind of the motif that I'm going with in my Masters of the Universe collection. Just another thing while I got this pulled up. I really like this Battle Cat. I like the size of Battle Cat and the proportions. I like the fact that he's a giant tiger versus in the original Motu with the toy, he was probably just barely big enough to give He-Man a lift. But definitely in the comic, you know, he should have been big enough to at least have a second rider with Teela. So I like the fact that he's big. He's got these long strides. It accounts for how He-Man can travel around Eternia so quickly. If he were a smaller tiger taking smaller strides, it just wouldn't make as much sense. Here's what I would change about him, though. I would like to see some stirrups on a Battle Cat. I think the figure would fit better. It would be more realistic. Also, I would like to see some saddlebags or what have you for a longer journey. I know this is getting a little bit more like Mythic Legends or something more elaborate, but it would be nice to see these two like on a big adventure. Teela would have to have more than just that harpoon that I have her with. You know, I'd like to see like a saddlebag with maybe a water source or something, a water jug, kind of woven in brown fabric. I know, asking for a lot. Maybe there's a customizer out there who could do something like this. I've seen some Mythic Legends horses. I think Super Dave did something about a horse from The Witcher. It's a show on Netflix that I don't watch TV at this time. Don't have it in the budget to have any streaming video right now. Maybe if I bought a few less of these guys, I'd have the money, but you know, I try to cut costs where I can. Anyway, Oh, again, this is the reason why I'm using the harpoon here, is I don't think Teela's weapon fits her that well. I like to have her not too bulky, but unlike He-Man, who's kind of a big, bulky fella, she's a capable fighter, but just given her size, she's not going to fight the same way He-Man would fight. So I like seeing her using her quickness, speed, this weapon, streamlined, not a lot of heavy armor on it. That suits her more, unless I put her in more of a magician role. But right now I just like her as a basic warrior, no superpowers, but just very committed to her art. And of course, He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, he's got his way of fighting, she's got her way of fighting, and this is what they look like together. All right, YouTube, hope you enjoyed it. Hey, let me know what you think about Battle Cat, and if you are familiar with that iconic photo. It's on the last page of the mini comic entitled He-Man and the Power Sword, I think, and it's the one that shows the spirit of Grayskull emanating from one of the towers on Grayskull. All right, until next time, guys. See you later.